going on, everybody? You are here at Clash of the Podcast, a show presented by Everything Pro Wrestling, a show by the fans, for the fans, and also with one of the best combat sports in the game, coverage from my man Sean Hubbard, Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. We bring you guys Clash of the Podcast every week. Sean, we made it to episode 10, my brother.
Episode 10, man. It's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get too sentimental, but the vision is starting to come to fruition, man. 10 episodes is nothing to sneeze at. I'm excited. Let's get it.
Man, we got something good planned for you guys. Lots of topics, and there's going to be a lot of interaction from the chat, so make sure you guys spread the word. Tell everybody you're here. Keep it locked with Clash of the Champions. Let's go. Nostalgia, brother. Nostalgia.
I love it.
I don't care. It never gets old. The whole song for that, man. Shout out to WCW World Tour. Whoever made that game, whoever made that soundtrack, came hard. Came hard. Shout out to everybody joining us early on. Sick in the house saying what's good. Sick, first one in here. Appreciate you, bro. We got Lady Kenzie in the house giving us a wave. What's up, Lady Kenzie? How you doing? Mr. Pro Wrestling 1 throwing up the 2 sweet. Appreciate you, Mr. Pro Wrestling 1. I see the Bullet Club. I know what you're about. Cactus walks in like Triple H and spits the water. Behold. We'll be talking about him tonight for sure. Stick around. Sup, yo? I came to talk wrestling and tell you to direct your Frieza to Daddy Green's Pizza. I wish I had some pizza right now. 6 hours about to give y'all a hard time about being on time, but you made it right on time. This time. Look at him sounding like a supervisor.
I love it.
Gentlemen, what up, Rob? What it do? What's good, Rob? What's up? They got my power fixed. Glad to hear that, BJ. Glad to hear that. If you were looking for BJ's episode this week on Everything Pro Wrestling side of things, power was down. So there you go. Now you know. I didn't want to put his business out there, but now you know. Sean, what you got cooking up, man?
I'm excited, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, basically, you know, the Everything Pro Wrestling and Hubbard Wrestling Weekly collaboration is continuing to thrive. I'm going to have some really cool commentary on Bobby Fish crossing over into boxing on an upcoming Floyd Mayweather exhibition card coming up next weekend. It's crazy stuff going on right now. Jake Paul is saying if Tyson Fury's brother doesn't show up, that he'll step in. It's a lot of crazy stuff, man. But enough about that, man. We're here to talk pro wrestling, and I'm telling you something. There's a lot going on.
Man, listen. We have plenty to talk about. And you gave us the perfect transition talking about the Paul brothers. The first thing we have to talk about is this Crown Jewel performance.
Oh, my goodness.
Logan Paul. Here we go, straight from Twitter. He has a torn meniscus, MCL, and potentially ACL halfway through the match. Keep y'all updated. What did you think of his performance at Crown Jewel, Sean?
It was awesome. The only thing I'll say is that I didn't think it would be anything but awesome. Honestly, I'm not surprised. I think that Logan Paul showed what kind of competitor he is back at WrestleMania and SummerSlam, but he did take it to a new level, and he had to take it to a new level. I mean, he went up against arguably the greatest champion in the past 30 years, and he had to show the world that for the people who paid the whatever amount they're paying on Peacock, the people overseas who are paying whatever they're paying for the network, that it was worth it. The few people that still actually buy pay-per-view, that it was worth it, and that he's legitimate. And he proved to me true legitimacy on Saturday. I mean, it was an outstanding performance.
It was. And Demond said that was from a Last Dragon movie quote. Well, who's the baddest? Show enough. Wow, Matt Lopez. Wow, way to kick the guy when he's down. Jets were the better team on Sunday. I'll give you that. It's all good. It's all good. You injured our quarterback, but all good. Or let's knock on wood. Let's hope he's not injured. But yeah, Logan Paul went out there and he did what he did best. It's perform. If you've watched the fights, I mean, is anyone surprised that these guys are D1 athletes? They are athletic. They can do whatever. I saw people making some comments about the buckshot lariat that he did in the middle of the match. That was cool. I didn't have an issue with it. I was more hurt that people decided to rip on CM Punk and Hangman. I felt like it was unnecessary from the IWC to do something like that. I don't know.
Every time a move gets done that's of a significant nature of another wrestler and another promotion, that automatically gets compared. I mean, I didn't think buckshot lariat when he first did it. I just thought it was a somersault clothesline off the apron. Hangman Page calls it a buckshot lariat, but it was a somersault clothesline off the apron, and I think he did it great. And I don't even think it was a subliminal shot at AEW.
Who do you remember the first person you ever saw do that move?
I don't.
I might jog your memory.
Okay.
Canyon as Mortis was the first person I ever saw do that move.
Really? Okay.
Yes. I found a Nitro clip. I can't remember who he was facing, but he planted them, gave them a good clothesline with it. And it looked all right. It doesn't look as smooth as Hangman's, but it was good, though. I was like, oh, man, that's an athletic guy right there.
I didn't know that. That's a good nugget you just gave me.
Yeah, facts, man. It was really good. And I just put up here, look at the performances that Logan Paul has put on since getting into the ring, man. He put on a great match against Rey Mysterio. The Miz.
He did.
The Miz. He was in there with The Miz at one point, and now he's facing Roman Reigns. You've summed it up pretty well. This dude is amazing. I don't know if you can give him a run with the titles. Let me ask you this. You're the boxing expert, so we're going to bring your expertise into this. How serious do you think Jake Paul would be about doing a match with his brother?
I think Jake Paul would be a little bit hesitant, only because Jake Paul is so focused on boxing right now. I think he enjoyed coming out, but if you notice, he didn't do much when he came out at Crown Jewel. It wasn't a big. He didn't take any bumps. He didn't do anything crazy. So I honestly think he threw a punch, which was cool, but I don't think Jake Paul is focused on wrestling. I think he was there to support his brother. I think he respects WWE as a multimedia company, but I think he's a boxer. And honestly, I'm shocked by even hearing those words come out of my mouth. Jake Paul is a boxer, and Jake Paul is serious. Unfortunately, nobody's going to take him serious until he fights a legitimate boxer, which still has yet to happen. But every time he goes out, I mean, you beat the former welterweight champion of the world in UFC, Tyron Woodley. You just beat arguably the greatest mixed martial artist of all time in Spider Silva. Get in the ring with somebody who's legitimate as a pure boxer. But anyway, I digress. I think Jake Paul's focused on boxing, but he showed up and showed out at the pay-per-view just the way he should.
Yeah. Logan did his thing, man. That's all I can say. When I saw this splash off the top, I thought that was the most amazing thing from that night. Did you think it was a little hokey with the phone? It
was, but at the same time, it's 1.5 million views on TikTok within the first half hour. So, I mean, mission accomplished.
Yeah, he got what he wanted out of it, at least. I mean, I'm not upset.
But also, not to cut you off, bro. He was successful. I mean, it was hokey, but it worked.
Yeah, he had people on it. I don't know what the view count's at for it, man, but it had people talking. I'm impressed. If they said they were going to bring him out again, I wouldn't be upset. That's all I can say.
That's the sad part, because that's what I was just about to say. I really was thinking that he earned a spot on the opposing Survivor Series team for the Bloodline. But since he's injured, now that all go, even the prospect of that goes by the wayside, because he was legitimately injured.
Mania is out of the question too now.
Yeah.
So they got a lot of reshuffling and booking to do, I think, in their heads right now.
That video of him jumping off the top of the turnbuckle onto the table onto Roman Reigns is at 2 million views on TikTok, and that's not even talking Instagram.
He knows how to go viral.
Yeah.
Sick, acknowledge the tribal chef, not chief, but the chef. Cactus. Hubbard, did you enjoy that 47-star super heavyweight clash? So I guess they want your quick thoughts, Sean. Omos and Braun, how'd they do?
I'm going to talk about the people Triple H has brought back really soon. ML.
You'll save it?
I'm gonna save it. I know you're trying to antagonize me, even though I like you, brother. You're my guy. I know you're trying to antagonize me, but I'm gonna hold it down a little longer because the volcano's already starting to erupt.
So, Damon saying Logan Paul Rookie of the Year. Now, this has been in question. 3 matches. Can you say he's Rookie of the Year?
Nah, I'll tell you what, the crazy part, he could be in the running for Match of the Year because I thought that was a Match of the Year candidate. But you can't be Rookie of the Year with 3 matches. It's just, 3 matches is just not enough.
I hear you. He said, mad respect for Logan Paul. Awesome showing. 6 said, I'll give the guy credit. It was decent match. I don't believe he's hurt, though. Just a way to write him off till they need him again. Cactus, I knew Logan was going to lose, but he stunned Roman. I was shocked at that. I enjoyed what he did, but at the end, Logan still had to kiss Roman's Converse. Last Dragon reference. Appreciate that, Matt. You can hate all you want, but don't doubt the skills. Yep, that's a fact. I don't like the Paul brothers, but that's just because I'm a hater. I do feel the boxing matches are rigged, though. I can't doubt all I want. Doubting is the perfect part of being a hater. Look at this.
I don't want to go off on a tangent, but I just want to interject one quick thing about Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva. That's not what this show is about. The whole idea of the boxing matches being rigged. I'm not saying it's beyond the realm of possibility, but Anderson Silva has such a love and respect and admiration for his sport. I just don't believe he would do that.
I'm gonna say, as the $1 Million Man, everything's got a price, though, brother. I mean,
maybe. Good point.
Hey, you never know. Mr. Pro Wrestling once said he did well. The phone thing, Rock did it better with the camera and commentating. WWE and New Japan with a strong connection. Maybe Finn versus Will Ospreay. I think you're hoping there. I don't see that happening yet. Jake jumped off the top rope without being insured. Now no Mania for him. State Farm reference. 3 matches that we'll talk about for a long time. Good point. I want to move into one of the first topics that me and you got into that got a lot of love on your side of things. Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. Down in the description box, you guys can click it, check it out. You get some banger articles. You get this podcast over there as well, audio version. So way to put in the little promo for us here. But let's talk a little Sasha and Naomi. The ladies have been popping back up. The names are popping up a lot. Survivor Series. It's in Boston. It's in Beantown. Is it time for them to come back? Sasha was teasing something kind of big on the Instagrams. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been time for them to come back. Let me not misrepresent because my face and my tone might say something different than what I truly feel. I love Sasha Banks and I love Naomi, and I respect them infinitely for their talents. But it's been time for them to come back. And I'm not counting my chickens before they come back. Before they hatch. If they come back, it'll be an awesome pop. It'll be a legitimate pop. It'll be a legitimate, long-lasting pop that will go into weeks and weeks worth of storylines. But they have to capitalize in the best possible way. And for me, they can screw this up just as easily as they can get it right. So when and if they do come back, whenever that time comes, I hope they get it right.
I agree with that. Let me see. Tokyo has joined us. Sasha's been teasing going to Japan. I just don't see that happening. I know we all would love it. Maybe she could work it in, like, before I come back, let me go do this one match. Let me do one thing or 3 matches, whatever it is. Let me go work
there's so much money for her in America, and not just WWE, not just wrestling. There's so much money, period, for her in America.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that, man. I feel like Sasha's such a huge superstar, and this is the only place where she's going to make the maximum. Wrestling's all about getting the maximum amount of money in the time frame that you have. I don't know. Survivor Series seems like the place to do it. If they don't do it there, I don't know when it happens. Then I'm just
Royal Rumble.
Surprise returns. Yeah. We could do that as well. Let me
I hope
see.
you're right, though. I want to go on record. I hope you're right. I hope it is Survivor Series because Royal Rumble's almost a little predictable.
Right. Overdue to be. They need to be back for sure. Damon is agreeing with you wholeheartedly. Matt Lopez says it's time to start building that Survivor Series War Games. Now that it's confirmed, both men and women's matches will be 5-on-5.
I'm so mad about that.
What, the 5?
Yeah, because if it was 4, then Roman could defend the title again. But now we know 5-on-5 means the bloodline's going to be intact.
Well, we heard a rumor about one of the Usos being injured, possibly both. So I hope that doesn't put things into jeopardy. 6 says, I have a question. Do you guys think Corey Graves and Michael Cole owe Naomi and Sasha an apology for saying they were unprofessional? I don't think they do, but I do think the company does. In some way, shape, or form.
You said it exactly as I was thinking. That's exactly my thought. I don't, you don't blame Tony Schiavone for saying, to turn over that Mick Foley's going to win the title and laughing at it. You don't blame Mick Foley for that. You don't blame Tony Schiavone for that. Vince McMahon and whoever's in charge told Cole and Graves to say that hot garbage, and the company owes them an apology.
Big time. And the best way to do it is listen to their ideas. Actually make the women's tag titles matter. And I feel like that hot potato stuff, I think that was done on purpose a little bit.
Okay.
For this later on. Like, I know fans are upset and they're like, we'll give them a little short-term reason to be upset, but then we'll give them a long-term reason. I'm hoping, but I could be wrong with that. Matt Lopez says it'd be nuts if Sasha showed up at New Japan Stardom crossover to challenge whoever wins the IWGP Women's Championship at Wrestle Kingdom. I would love that, but I think me and Sean are in agreement. I don't see it. I don't see it. I just can't see it happening. Hey, in the old War Games matches, the Horseman wrestle Flair as world champion. He did wrestle in the War Games matches.
No, that's what we're saying. I was saying I was upset, ML, because, and when I say upset, I'm saying it tongue in cheek. I'm very excited about War Games, but what I'm saying is, if it was a 4-person match, the 4 members of the Bloodline would be in that match, and then Roman would be free to defend his title. Now, Roman is going to be in the War Games match with no title defense. Not that it's a bad thing. I just wanted double bang for my buck. I would like to see, would love to see the Bloodline in War Games and Roman defend the title. That's all.
Right. Cactus says that WWE hasn't been very un-Usi to Banks and Naomi. They made the women's tag division good. And let me see here. Oh, Mr. Pro Wrestler 1 says facts. So yeah, there's a lot of hope for the ladies right now. There's a lot riding on this. I think you could make a big impact. Listen, I'll tell everybody, out of the 4 horsewomen, Sasha's always been my favorite. I think she was if you asked 10 different wrestling fans, I think you would get 4 different answers for who's the one of the 4 horsewomen that you would bank on. Who's the one that's the money to you? Do you have a favorite, Sean? Is there a favorite out of the 4 horsewomen?
Bro, I'm gonna give you guys some behind the scenes. My girl, honestly, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the movie or the catchphrase Hall Pass, but in bottom line, my girl says, who I adore, says to me that if I ever had a chance to be stuck in an elevator with Sasha Banks, or if by some stroke of luck I run into Sasha Banks, I get a hall pass. Even my girl knows how fine. Sasha Banks is amazing, but I digress. I love me some Sasha, bro. That I'm marking out a little bit, but I think, look, to be professional again, WWE needs them. The tag team division needs them. I think Naomi has a chance to finally come into her own. This, situation that was obviously some real life crap that she didn't bargain for might have been the best thing to happen to her. Just come back, join the Bloodline, and call it a day. For the love of God, please.
So listen, I'm gonna be the first one to admit I did not like them as a team at first. I thought it was a step down for both to where I thought they were going. Do you keep them as a team now? Are they bound together for the short term or the long term? Do you think?
I think they're bound together for the short term, and I think that Naomi takes her rightful place in the Bloodline, and I think Sasha takes her rightful place back towards the top of the card.
Right. Cactus said Dakota and what's her face ain't hitting as the champs. Well, dang. Like you just said it right there. Matt says Sasha's his favorite. I respect it. And speaking of this, guys, we've all wanted to be that person who gets to be critical. They get to talk in school. It's time. It's time to pull out your red pen, so to speak, and time to grade some papers. Triple H, since taking over, has returned a lot of people. Some have said he's pulling the Tony Khan. I don't think that's the same situation. I think you like returns as pops. It's what gets the people into it. We're going to go through all of the people that Triple H has brought back. This does not include injuries. This does not include any of that stuff. Everyone that Triple H has brought back. And we're going to go through it. And I kind of want to give him a grade, Sean. I think that would be fun for us to do. I'm interested in it. And before we do that,
not going to be great.
BJ says Sasha's character, Becky's the fighter, Bailey's the wrestler, Charlotte's the athlete. That's also my ranking of them. You ask me the category, you'll get 4 different answers. I'm telling you, every time you bring them back together, but then split them up to both brands.
Right, I like that, Kenny. And also, they can still be cool with each other, just not a team.
Mm-hmm. Forever bound together by that too, and they came, and Sasha came in with her too.
That's a fact.
On the main roster. But let's get into this grading system. Chat, you better be playing along, and I want honest thoughts. Don't give me none of this garbage, and you better give props if props are deserved too. So we're going to keep it a buck with each other right now while we talk about this. You guys are funny in the chat. I'm not even putting those up. Cut it out. All right. First up, we had the return at SummerSlam of these two ladies. Dakota Kai, Io Shirai. They are now two-time women's tag team champions, and they're in Damage Control. Go ahead, brother. I see you making faces.
Damage Control, one word, overrated. Overrated. I think Io Shirai, Io Sky, whatever you want to call her, is an outstanding athlete and an outstanding competitor. I think that Bailey is a transcendent talent. I think Dakota Kai is average. I think she's been exposed. And I think that they, as a trio, fall to somewhere in the C- to D+ range. I'm not impressed.
Wow. He's coming in hard.
And by the way, and that's not the most harsh I'm going to be this evening.
Listen, I got this idea from Grapsity. They've done some stuff with the ladies. I mean, they're trying, Sean. It's not like they're.
I get it. I'm with you.
They're not trying to bury them, but it's not going right. Like, I feel the same way. Listen, I wrote down my grades already.
Right.
I'm giving it a C. I'm giving it a C, man. I got the idea from the Grapsity guys.
I said C-. All right.
You're fair. That's fair. I'm waiting for the chat here to see what they give.
DJ, a lot of love to Dakota Kai. Okay.
Ooh, C- for Damage Control, Rob says. He's the first one. Thumbs up for the usage of Kai. Thumbs down for the usage of Sky. Dakota Kai and Io would be way better as singles competitors. What do you think of that?
I think that Dakota Kai should get back with Gonzalez or Rodriguez or whatever her name is, because they both need each other, because they both stink on the main roster. That's what I think.
Okay. B for Kai, D for Sky. C+, Mr. Pro Wrestling says. Let's see. Kai and Sky, split them up. Man, Damon is he is 0-2 drafting people, just splitting the Dudleys, just splitting the Hardys.
A lot of people think the way we think, man. C, I said C-, you said C. I'm seeing a lot of C- and C's.
Yeah.
And by the way, BJM, shout out to BJM. The average of a B and a D is a C.
Yeah. C- from Damon. Damage Control look like they're part-time NASCAR pit workers. Come on now.
That was their Saudi Arabia attire. Relax. We're not going to go that far.
I mean, the outfits were kind of hot, though. I ain't gonna front. I was like, hey, they ain't bad.
They have to dress up to the neck in Saudi Arabia for cultural reasons. There was nothing wrong with that. We're not gonna be that critical.
You gotta know Cactus. Cactus likes to crack jokes.
Oh, I know, it's all good.
Inappropriate, Rob. Craig, woo, he came in and said D+. Yikes.
It's true. They're not. They fall. I mean, SummerSlam was cool, but SummerSlam was 6 months ago.
Listen, all right, let's go on to the next one. Karrion Kross and Scarlett. This is a former. Yo, you guys, time out. You gotta see Sean's face. That was Sean's face the whole time while I was saying it. Karrion Kross and Scarlett. What do you think of them, man? What's your feeling on them?
It is a crime. You understand me? It is a crime for these two, and I'm saying it for the world to hear, for these two talented, infinitely talented, outstanding performers to be used in this way. It's a C-. It's pathetic. It's not their fault. Let me go on record as saying that. It is not their fault, but it has fallen very short of the mark. And I'm so disappointed because I love Scarlett and I love Kross. I think they are outstanding, and I think they're being used in a very poor way, and I'm so disappointed.
How do you correct the issues with them?
Well, no, I want to hear your take first, bro.
All right, man. I went C-.
Okay.
Yo, they're listen. It's dude.
Only difference between you and me is I make the faces and I get all upset, and I give a C- with distress. You give a C- with a smile.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like I've been expecting this from them. Mm-hmm. The like not so good, overrated. I never saw the big deal in NXT. I'm not even trying to be funny. I know that was during the time when they went against AEW, but I thought that's when they slipped a little. I don't see. Kross has what WWE wants as far as size, the package, but something is not connecting with me the ring.
Not clicking.
Does it feel cartoonish? Does it feel like, I don't know, like Cool World or something? You know what I mean? Like they come out, it's black and white.
I think we're human, and I want to elaborate on that, and I want you to indulge me for a second, Conrad, and to everybody in the chat. And I want you to focus on what I'm saying, because I'm being very serious, even though this sounds a little outside the box. I think we're human. And I think when you're human and your emotions get involved and you see a character be destroyed the way it was destroyed when he was here the last time, when he came to the main roster, and then he goes out into the independent world and becomes a success again, they bring him back. And I think that this would be considered being halfway decent work if we didn't know what he was in NXT. And I think it's just another example of us being human, understandably human, and looking at him for the potential that he has and being so disappointed in how he's being used, and so disappointed in what I would consider actually lackluster ring work and lackluster storyline execution, that it turns into a C- or a D+. It's sad. It's the biggest tragedy that we're going to talk about on this list. There's going to be people who I give Fs to today. There's Fs coming, guys. So there's some Fs coming. But this is a sad C- for me, because I think they are infinitely talented.
Scarlett A, Matt. Has Scarlett? See, I think Scarlett's been the detriment of Kross.
I wouldn't say detriment, but she's fallen short of the mark, though.
Oh, I'm about to give you something that's going to remind you. And BJ has said,
I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying she fall. Oh, you're saying she's the reason for the duo doing poorly?
I think she's the reason for Kross's part doing poorly. Like Matt just put, Scarlett's a A, Kross is a D. I'm going to tell you something in 1 second. Mm-hmm. For my man Kross, D-, too much potential to be where they are. And I think I'll say this too. Mark me down for this. Mm-hmm. Kross is still going to be a world champion. He is a tweak or two away from being over. You have to find what that is, though. Mm-hmm. BJ comes in and says he has an F for Kross. It's like they want to Mark Marrow him, and that is the example that I've been using with them. She is Sable because the guys can't take their eyes off of her. A fact is a fact.
Well, but I know I was kind of marking out on Sasha earlier. I'm being very serious now. Scarlett can't help being attractive.
No, that's not what the issue is. She helps him win all of his matches. So the focus goes to her at the end every time. You're like, oh, look at what she just did. And then he wins, and then he's posing with her, and it's like, give me the final shot. And everybody's looking at her, and instead it's like, oh, this dude sucks. Like, he didn't win the match. She won it for him. And I think that's very bad for them. Okay. BJ said they were better in Impact than WWE. Rob said a very generous C for the act. I get to look at Scarlett, but they're wasting Cross. Damon said, cut his hair bald again and grew and get this Drew feud over with. C+. TikTok, yeah, I'm counting the minutes for when they get off my television. D+. Plus, ever since Adam Hangman Page cut that legendary promo. Oh, Adam Cole. Oh, yeah, that was another promo that hurt. He said, to make you feel special, they give you all the smoke and the girl and everything else to make you feel special. I lace up my boots and they ring the bell. And I was like, yikes. That was a bad promo. He got him good in that one. And Craig said he doesn't like the attire. He's not a fan. He missed it. Is he better with the shaved head?
Nah, he's not better with the shaved head. I mean, but I understand where Desmond's coming from, McKinney's coming from. He was at his best in WWE when he had a shaved head, so you kind of associate him being at his best when he had a shaved head. But I don't think the shaved head makes a difference. I just think he needs to improve his character, and I think it's a shame.
I think my order's right here. I just flipped these. If I get the order wrong, please don't throw rocks at me. Next up, Dexter Lumis.
Mm-hmm. You're good.
Bruh, get this off my TV. I'm not even joking. It's bad. And they tried to do a whole convoluted explanation. I think that was because Tommaso was hurt, truthfully. So I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass on that one. But D- for this for me, man. It's awful. It's awful. Every week he's just terrorizing The Miz. And then The Miz used him to... I didn't even understand what they were trying to say. That's why I lost. Because he interfered. I don't get it. It sucks. That's all I can say. I don't know how to improve this. It's a weird character. Not feeling it.
I'm going up to a D. Up to a D from an F only because I like Dexter Lumis. I like him. And I think he has potential, but it's a D. It's been nothing short of a disappointment. I don't think Miz is selling it very well either. I think Miz is part of the problem. I think the whole storyline is part of the problem. I think the home invasion was comical, not scary or at all. I think it was just overly comical in a very corny way. I think it's bringing down. Well, we're going to talk about him in a minute. I'll leave that alone. But yeah, a D.
Let me see. Did they expose the truth? What is Dexter? Why is he stalking him? It was convoluted. Dexter was basically, he needed money. So he ended up beating up Miz so that Miz would look strong despite losing sometimes. And he didn't pay him all of the money, so now he's going after him for real. And they needed someone else to say that. And I've got a lot to say when we get to that one. I liked him in NXT, but main roster, Pro Wrestling says a D. Lumis is a C for me. Started out really strong, but now it's just floundering. Yeah, if we went by week one, I would have gave it a C+ as well. B- even, but now, And I don't think it's his fault. It's just the writing. Stone Cold Steve Lumis gets an F-. It sucks. I think the character can be good, but it's missing something. I'm going to give this a C only because I like his character. The execution is just bad. I think the whole serial killer gimmick needs to be taken more seriously and be more scary. Perhaps. Whew, this next one's about to hurt. And I couldn't even find a picture with the trio that was nice by themselves. Hit Row. And Nakamura's not in Hit Row. But that was the only picture that I could find with this squad in there. Bro, have at it first, because I'm going to try and be kind. I have to reserve my words for this.
They freaking suck. And it's been a damn disgrace. They freaking suck. It's not working. It's corny. It's cliche. It's played. It's horrible. For obvious reasons, am a big fan of hip hop, urban style storylines. I was a big John Cena fan when he was the Doctor of Thugonomics. I love hip hop. I love wrestling. I love when the two come together. This is not working. It's been a complete flop. It's an F. I am saddened to say that, but it's an F.
Hit Rose the new low D. Bruh, what's lower than an F? I think an F minus. B for their social media game. Yeah, I think the raps work for them, but here's the weird thing. Is it hard for WWE to bring the hip-hop culture over to it as long as they've ignored it?
It's definitely a hard transition to come back to because, like you said, they've ignored it for so long. That's a good assessment on your part.
I feel like hip-hop is very important, and I do think hip-hop and wrestling go together. Everybody in the chat right now who loves hip-hop, I'm sure everybody's got one wrestling bar that they've heard that they absolutely love. If you've ever even listened to any of my old rap stuff, bro, I had so many lines about, I'm not broken, I'm not bending. You can call me Mr. Perfect or call me Kurt Hennig. People can come up with whatever you want when you're doing this, and it works. But with Hit Row, the raps don't sell. You know why the Acclaim work and Hit Row don't work? I've said this before too. The Acclaim raps for the average man.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, who couldn't follow along with the beat pattern of, hi, my name is Max, and I'm here to chill, blah, 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 blah. Everybody gets that, right? That's usually, to me, as someone who loves hip-hop, that's a sign of a bad rapper.
Right.
I know Max Caster can rap, and I've seen him do complicated raps when he first started. Someone told him, you see these old dudes back here, they don't get what you're talking about.
They don't get what you're talking about. Right.
Coming down, and that's when Max Caster said, I get it. I'll say something that makes you pop in the city. Boom. Got it. Now, with Hit Row, their rhymes are too complicated. People don't know what they're talking about. I get it because I grew up in that era. I understand, like, yeah, come on, Ak, we're out here doing this. But some people are like, who? Did they say
you start rapping about, I'm on the block with the AK automatic pop. Like that's real hip hop, but that's not the demographic you're trying to go for.
Especially if you're in Montana,
Des Moines, Iowa, right?
Yeah, that's not going to resonate as much as people think it is, especially with the larger crowd. Cray said, Hit Row, I hate them, always have -5 stars, especially Top Dollar. Dang.
Hate is a strong word, man.
I'm not grading them. They can just go. They wasted time and money on this. Time out now. I'm going to be fair. I don't think wow, hold up. Vince wasn't wrong on this one?
I think Vince was wrong when he let him go the first time when Swerve Strickland was in the group.
Yeah, you needed Swerve. Swerve gave them credibility. Ashante the Adonis actually is a good wrestler too. He gives them a lot of credibility as well.
I have a dream Hit Row, by the way. I have a dream Hit Row. Adonis, Carmelo, and whatchamacallit coming back, Swerve Strickland, and you can keep the girl too. But like that's the three. Top Dollar, and I'm all about the big guys doing well. He's not over for me. He's not, and his attire is pathetic.
Yeah, they gotta. I think they need to upgrade the attire as well at least for Top Dollar, just so that he looks better. Big man's got to come out there looking fresh, man, at all times. Rob, stop it. Keep it simple, less is more. Agreed. Hit Row raps like it's still 1998. Come on now, don't get me started on the new school rap now. I don't want to. What did Snoop say? Had me in the booth doing that. I'm like, man, cut this off, man. I don't do this.
No, rest in peace to Takeoff though.
Let me see. Yeah, R.I.P. man. That's the one thing I don't like about hip hop is when it gets down to violence and stuff like that. It's not about the paper. It's not about the fame. And I don't know Triple H, but I know it's all about the game. Wale is a huge wrestling fan, though. I've heard him rap off of Razor Ramon's beat I'm like a young. Well, I won't even repeat some of those.
He's a big wrestling fan, but his swagger when it comes to wrestling is not what it needs to be. For somebody who has swag and somebody who's a knowledgeable wrestling fan, he hasn't been able to bring it together. I thought that when he was the master of ceremonies of the Usos New Day battle, that he was corny.
Hold on, Six. Six said when I said Swerve Scott made Hit Row, y'all got on me for that. I still got to get on you for that because technically it wasn't his creation. The OGs of Hit Row are there now. It's not. He never created it. They had the idea already going into Evolve, and then they were like, "Yo, why don't we add him into it? It'll make it better." So they need something to upgrade that group, man. And I feel like we've given them way too much time. This next one, though, I think is going to hurt. Johnny Gargano, bro. That rebel heart. This dude was one of my favorite people in NXT, man. I don't know what happened. For me, it was ever since that Way stuff started. Once they did that, I was done.
Now we disagree on the Way. I found him a little bit funny and entertaining, but his return has been terrible. I mean, it's been really bad.
Did he need to turn heel though?
No, he didn't need to turn heel. I'm just saying the Way. I thought there was a little comedic splash with him and Austin and Indy Hartwell. I thought they played. I thought they had fun together, which is fine. But he wasn't at his best with the Way. But he's worse now. Like, I'll take the Way. Gargano over this Gargano any day. Like he's like swimming in a kiddie pool. Like it hasn't. He's in my mind, to give you a grade, he's a C and he should be an A+.
You're giving him a C?
Yep, he should be an A+, but it's a C.
Maybe it's my bias, man. I'm giving him a C+.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's my bias kicking in, but
because he's still outstanding in the ring. You always got to remember that.
Yeah, I haven't felt it though on SmackDown yet, and
Okay.
I keep telling myself I wonder if they're doing this on purpose. To me, and I'm telling y'all this now, the end game has to be Johnny Gargano is going to team with Tommaso Ciampa. Sami Zayn's going to wind up with Kevin Owens. The Usos stay together. The New Day stay together, and that's your tag division. Like now, we're building a real tag division. That's what I think needs to be the end game.
Because DIY, Usos, New Day, and who else did you just talk about? Sami and Kevin Owens. That's a good, solid foundation for a tag team. I mean, that's.
We didn't even bring up the other teams that are still there. Legado del Fantasma. We didn't bring up Hit Row. Not a good time after what we just said. What's the two lover boys' names? I can't even think of them now.
Los Lotharios. They don't count. Fire them. The
Alpha Academy.
No. The four teams you mentioned initially, see, this is your problem. I'm gonna tell everybody in the chat.
Oh, you gotta have teams to beat, though. You can't just have the four teams.
The whole world, my partner in crime, my brother. I'm solid enough to say my brother's biggest problem. Okay. My brother Conrad's biggest problem is that when he gets something right, he talks too much and eventually turns his right into a wrong. He said it right the first time. New Day, Usos, Sami and KO, and who was the other team again?
Usos, New Day, Sami, KO, and DIY.
And DIY. That's all you need.
But those are the pillars, though. You got to have other teams that they're going to be trying to elevate at the same time.
Not Los Lotharios, not Hit Row.
No, but they got to have people to beat. Is what I'm saying.
Well, you know what? They need to be beaten out of their jobs. The bottom line is, I'm sick and tired of seeing them on television. I'm sick and tired of watching them on television. And I think everybody understands the fact that when they come on TV, when those teams you mentioned come on TV, it's time to take a bathroom break.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And they got to make people care about them again. Man, BJ says, C-, give Gargano more time, man. He's always been a corny guy, I feel, but he's always been a great wrestler. I'll give my man a B just because I feel he hasn't found his footing yet on the main roster. Yeah, it was that dancing with the cowboy hat thing.
I mean, I think me and Conrad, I'm speaking for you right now, Conrad. I think me and Conrad agree that he's still our guy. We both love Johnny Gargano. The return has fallen a little bit, south.
Rob, stop hating, man. Rob's always hated Johnny Gargano. I don't know why.
Wow.
John Mark, what is going on? Thank you for joining. Hello. Welcome.
Oh, that's right. Don't forget about the Street. That's a good point. I forgot about the Street Profits. But that's a problem. Why did I forget about the Street Profits?
Injury.
Okay.
Montez is out hurt right now, to be fair.
Okay.
Sean, I'm going to let you tackle this next one first. Go ahead, man. Tell me your thoughts on Braun Strowman's return.
I think he's done a wonderful job since he's been back. I think that he's proven himself to be a world championship contender. I think he should.
I had to get this so people could screenshot this.
He should be the WrestleMania main event. I think that he should win the Royal Rumble. He sucks. He's so bad. He is a big pile of nothing. He sucks. He is so pathetic. He is a 335-pound bag of crap. He's always been overrated. He's always been overhyped. He makes me want to throw up every freaking time I see him. He's a waste of space. He's a waste of time. He controls his own narrative because he has no narrative. He is a pathetic excuse for a professional wrestler. I cannot stand him. He makes me want to throw up every single time he comes out to the ring. So now he's not just the monster among men. He's the monster among monsters. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, every time I come into the ring. And I'm going to go, and I'm going to go like this, hoping the fans say, feed me more, when there's only 3 kids in the audience saying it. And I'm going to run around the ring like I'm a choo-choo train. Choo-choo! And I'm going to look like a freaking 13-year-old moron. He needs to go. He needs to go. He is not worthy of being on television. He pushed over a couple of semi-tractor trailer trucks. He pushed over a production truck. He pulled down some support beams on top of Roman Reigns. Big freaking deal. His biggest moment was becoming tag team champions at WrestleMania with a 12-year-old kid. And the 12-year-old kid, the next night on Raw, was the best part of his promo. What does that have to say about him? Braun Strowman, I hope I never, ever see him again.
Wow. Unbelievable.
I am so serious, bro. I don't understand what anybody sees in this guy besides he's a big, tall guy. That's all he's got going for himself. He is so uncharismatic. He is so corny. I can't stand him. I can't stand him. Conrad, look at me. Look at me, Conrad. Look at me. I can't stand him. He is so limited in so many ways.
Listen,
he's an F minus.
I'm giving Braun a D minus. I've seen him. He's had good matches with Roman. He's tried his best. Yeah, it ain't it for me. And the Twitter thing, bro, if I could add the Twitter thing onto this, because I wrote my grade before that, he would get an F. Like him going on there and trashing on wrestlers. The next time this dude trashes indie wrestlers, can you guys please just boo him out of the building? Like yell, get him off our TV, something. I just can't believe someone would do something like that. Ever since the moment he would be as good as someone heavy in a stable, but should not be a single guy by himself. Cactus says, call Triple H. Hey, buddy, I got a dream match for you. Strowman versus Hubbard steel cage match. Mr. Pro Wrestling, that is a nice sign. Choo Choo Train B-. I like it when he was in the Wyatt family and ran with Alexa.
You liked him when he was in the Wyatt family because he didn't talk.
Nipple rings are a draw, Rob says.
I liked him when he was in the Wyatt family too. I liked him when he was in the Wyatt family too. Because he was a mute. And you didn't realize how stupid he was on the microphone.
He needs to be a group at this point. The Wyatt 6 thing has his name on it to hide him in the background. Touche.
Yo, everybody in the chat, you guys you have no idea how this is not a work. I am so serious. I am so serious. I have never liked that guy. Never. And I told you, Conrad, and I told everybody listening to our show, I said he got a big pop because he was a surprise return. And that people would start to remember once again how limited he is. Didn't I say that, Conrad? Isn't that what I said?
100%.
I said, as a matter of fact, didn't I say I gave him 2 weeks is what I said? And within 2 weeks, or maybe I'll say a month, the newness, the new car smell went away, and all of a sudden, people remember he sucks.
Moving on to our next young lady here.
No.
We beat the man up enough.
No. I'm not done. Let me tell you one more thing about Braun Strowman. I'm serious about this too. I'm tired of Braun Strowman taking up main event spots, and I hope he never does again. Braun Strowman is not in Roman Reigns' league. Braun Strowman is not in Brock Lesnar's league. Braun Strowman is not in Randy Orton's league. Braun Strowman is not in Riddle's league. Braun Strowman is not in Seth Rollins' league. Braun Strowman should be wrestling on Heat, and Heat doesn't exist anymore. Put him on Velocity. Now I'm done.
The wife of Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae. She is up next. She's there. She's there. I don't get the poison pixie thing. I never really have. What do you think of her so far? I mean, she's gotten some wins over Damage Control. I feel like she's probably going to be on the other side of the women's War Games match. Listen, she's had incredible performances on the indies if you've known her. She's the first one to take that thumbtack spot super kick from the Young Bucks. How she did that and not get hurt, I have no clue. She's a great wrestler. She's another Natalia.
Super talented. She's not over. And I think that's the common thread to bring it to bring myself back down to a calm level. I think the more young Strowman talks, the less I feel bad about. Yeah, man. All right. So I'm gonna kind of get off that because I don't want to go too far with it. You guys know how I feel. Candice, tremendous wrestler, Candice LeRae. I she's not over. Her return has been lackluster. I mean, and that's what I think the common theme is, Conrad. And I want to give you some time to kind of talk about that. The common theme is that these returns have just been kind of like ho hum, like whatever, you know what I'm saying? And it's like you don't just bring people back just because. I know Triple H trying to shake it up, and I got to give Triple H all the credit in the world. He's trying to make some changes, but the Gargano is arguably the best return of all. And do you remember when he came back? He came back on after a random segment commercial break from Raw, and the fans were confused, and all of a sudden the fans got excited when they saw him, and it was like, oh, you're back. That's awesome. Maybe he could have came back in a more prominent role where it would have made a difference, but and the same thing with Candice LeRae. It's like, but I'll tell you one thing, Candice LeRae got a better response than somebody else we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to be straight up. Candice is what's the most plain tasting? Candice LeRae is just plain. It's the best way to put it. Vanilla ice cream. She is C-. She hasn't done anything wrong. And I hear Six saying, yeah, she just had a baby. I completely get that. It's what you said. It's the presentation for her and Johnny. See, for Johnny, I can excuse it because I feel like with Gargano, they're trying to possibly set up him in like he needs Ciampa. Mm-hmm. And Ciampa needs him because he's hurt and I need you. It'll add years to Ciampa's in-ring stuff because now he has a tag partner. Johnny can reunite with his friend and then he can focus on himself later after he's done. And then maybe Candice tags along. So I have hope. So C-.
My brother, I'm piggybacking off of you. It's totally your point. I'm taking it from you in a complimentary way. Some people need a group. Bobby Fish. Some people need a group. That's just the way it is. And I'm not saying Candice LeRae is Bobby Fish. I'm certainly not saying that Johnny Gargano is Bobby Fish. But I'm saying there's certain people that just need to be in a group. Like they just need to be part of a faction. That's their thing. And I think that a reunion of The Way I think would work. I think a reunion of DIY would work. Any way you want to go. But on their own, it's just not working.
Right. Candice gets C+. I think she's lost in the shuffle right now since we haven't seen her since that beat down on Raw, but A. Let me see here. Con remembers Gargano's return. He thought I was lying because we were talking about him not 5 minutes before it actually happened that night. Yeah. It's crazy. Gargano was the hottest free agent a few months ago in wrestling. What kind of wings? Oh, here we go.
Yeah, having fun with me with Braun Strowman. I don't hate Braun Strowman. Let me tell you something, and Conrad knows this. I don't hate Braun Strowman just because, first of all, I don't hate anyone. I don't dislike Braun Strowman because I'm just having fun disliking Braun Strowman. I think Braun Strowman is limited, and I blame more the company than I blame Braun Strowman. It's like, I don't like people being forced down our throats, and I feel like it's just this Feed Me More thing. I think somebody said it was cool in 2017. Yeah, it was. That's 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. Who put Bobby Fish in here? Don't you dare. Don't you dare bring up Bobby Fish when we're having a good time being positive. DIY and Candice equals Team Indy. Use them. Yeah.
I predict he wins his boxing debut.
Okay. All right. Listen, he can win it all he wants. Boo! If I'm in the crowd. So have fun waiting outside, waiting for Hunter to come out of his office.
Right.
Next up, I have to give this one a solid A. Bray Wyatt built the hype, brought in the ratings. He's done a great job with it. I don't know if you feel like it's getting long in the tooth with the whole Uncle Howdy thing now every week. It's like, all right, bro, when are you going to wrestle? When are you going to...
Only thing, brother, you're hitting the nail right on the head.
When are you going to wrestle? And I know some of the super Bray Wyatt fans will say like, oh, you can't rush this, blah, blah, blah. I get it. I hear you, but let me know where we're going. You can't keep coming out on the microphone and nothing is happening every time. I feel like, I'm like, is he feuding with himself? Like, what's going on here? What are we doing?
I'm going to give Bray Wyatt's return an A-. And the only reason for the minus is because I feel like they're dragging it a little bit. I think Bray's been outstanding. I like the way he's returned. I like the old music better, I'm not going to lie. But anyway, the bottom line is I love his return. A- is certainly not a bad grade. It's far from a bad grade. But the minus is just because, come on. Okay, now it's time to move it along. It's been a month. Let's try and see what we're doing next. I honestly I'm not confident he'll even be wrestling in Survivor Series either. I hope I'm wrong. So it's like we got to get this thing rolling a little bit.
Yeah. Cray said B+ for him. BJ, I think he's going with an A or an A-. I'm going to say that's an A, it looks like.
I think it's an A.
Yeah, because it looks like he's dashing from it. B, and he said to quote Ashtray's dad, don't be a menace. Hey, come on now.
Outside the language, I agree 100%. I think it's dragging a little bit, Conrad.
Yeah, it's only been a month, y'all. Jeez, fickle. Yeah, give it some time. I'm okay with it.
No, Sick. That's not. I hear you. Let me start by saying your point is valid. But I mean, he's done basically the same promo 4 weeks in a row. It's been good. He's Bray Wyatt. It's an A-. I'm not saying a B or I just think, okay, can we get some kind of revelation on it? First of all, can we at least get a revelation on whether or not they're actually human beings or if they're just personalities?
Correct. There's a bunch of ways to do this. Bray's on the wait and see train. This A could go to a D real quick if they don't handle things properly, especially with him because he's on that. I call it the Dolph Ziggler, bro. And I blame Rob, same person who had that quote up before. Rob taught me one night to never care about Dolph Ziggler again. It was the night when he got the #1 contendership to face Dean Ambrose. I was at that show live in Buffalo. It was like the second or third SmackDown Live. And I always tell this story, but it's true. Dolph Ziggler won. The crowd's up. 1, 2, here to show the world. We're all jumping up, and Rob goes, "Who cares?" And I was like, "What do you mean, who cares? Dolph Ziggler won." He was like, "He's gonna lose again. I'm tired of caring about this dude." And every time after that, they beat him. They beat him. They beat him. And now I was like, "Yo, you're right, bro." He told me like, "Stop caring about this dude because they don't care. They just set him up to lose."
You know what? I have to say that assessment's correct. You know what? I'm starting to see myself in what you said. Rob said that? His name is Rob?
Yeah.
Shout out to Rob. I thought every time Dolph comes back, I get excited and then I get disappointed all over again. That's a good point.
Right. Since I've seen Bray come back, he's like the PSA and spokesperson for mental illness. Yeah. I can see that. I saw a lot of people saying that he's been a positive influence for people with mental illness.
Let me ask you this, Conrad. Let me ask the chat. And I'm asking the chat to indulge us on this one. Just simply a yes or no. Yes or no. And pay attention to this question, yes or no. Would it be a disappointment if the other members of the new Wyatt family were only personalities? Would that be a disappointment? My answer would be yes.
What do you mean by only personalities? Clarify.
Like six faces of Bray.
Like that it's only him in the role?
Yeah.
So I have a unique position on that. Shout out to the insiders. They do a lot of booking and things like that. Their podcast. They just finished recording tonight, probably, and they have a Bray Wyatt themed type of podcast where they talk about him. Lots of fans, like I said. I see he has a big community of fans, and I brought up they did who book Bray Wyatt. Like, how would you book him from this point forward? And I thought that you reveal the Wyatt Six is him as the 6 personalities, but then he begins to give people their roles. So someone's struggling, they're not winning as many matches, and then he says, "You come with me. You're going to now be Huskus or whatever the roles you want them to play are." Oh, my brother Bo, you can be Howdy. You know what I mean? Like they begin to take over the stuff in his mind that he's seeing. You can play with this. That's what I think they could do.
Right.
We got a
Yeah, I see a couple yeses. Don't you think they'd be dropping the ball from a perspective of being able to make new stars?
You could. With Bray, they said they have plans until WrestleMania. So I'm willing to hear them out. So they got till Mania, I think, to really convince me and show me where they're going with this. I don't know. The actual quote. Oh, wait a minute. The actual quote was, "So what? Who cares? He's gonna lose." That was it. E, what's good? E, welcome to the show. 6 said yes. If the Wyatt Six is only 6 personalities, then we're looking for 4 faces of Foley plus 2. Yeah, you could see something like that. No, if they're fleshed out, I'm good with it. That being said, I don't want it to be like they did with the faces of Foley, though. And E coming in, let me know Fight Forever is going to be on Game Pass for Xbox players. Yes. Little tidbit for all the video game guys out there. We got a couple more people to get through here. We'll do one more, and then we'll speed round the rest of these guys. The OC. D+.
You said what?
I said D+. That's it.
I thought you said B+. Okay, yeah, my okay. D+. I agree. D-.
Yeah, they're awful. I don't know. Not feeling them. Not feeling them at all. Let's see here. It makes sense if Bo Dallas was Howdy. The split personalities. Would be okay if he changes his moveset each time. Uncle Ruckus is Uncle Howdy. Come on, y'all. Let me see here. Rob says F. Mr. Pro Wrestling's giving them a B.
Wow.
That might be that Bullet Club coming in, though. Tokyo says D. Yeah, they've been whack. I don't know, man. If you're in WWE, would you explore doing your own version of the Bullet Club? You got enough people.
I think they dropped the ball. I think they didn't need the OC to come back. We talked about this last week. They did not need the OC to come back. They had an opportunity to reunite AJ and Finn with the Judgment Day. They should have pulled the trigger on that, and they didn't.
I think you could kick Finn out still too. The way Rhea Ripley's kind of been taking over the group. I don't know. There's room to do it still, I think. Mark, what's going on? It's been a while, my good sir. Thank you for joining us. Welcome. The OC need a lady to handle Rhea. All right, now.
That's all right. OC needs a lady to handle Rhea. Oh, that I thought. Well, let me take that to a level of sophistication and respect. The OC needs to find a female to deal with Rhea as a threat, though. Like storyline wise, they need to find a female to rock with them so they can, because Rhea's costing in every single match.
Yeah, and I'm sure someone's going to step up to the plate. The question is too, some people are saying Beth, but I think you need to find someone on the current roster to do it. You need a permanent staple there to handle that. Let me see here. Six said, let me tell you something. I've been a wrestling fan all my life, and I've never heard anybody say, yo, I can't wait to see Carl Anderson tonight. He's too basic, be acting like a megastar. F-. Also, the OC coming back was to placate AJ. I think that's the only reason. I don't know why they would feel the need to, but that's my suspicion. Very much so. Rhea is like what China was to DX in the 90s. I agree with that. I agree. I think that's why Triple H is a big fan. All right, Sean. Lightning round real quick, man.
Yeah, we got it.
Throw up the grades. We got Emma. Emma just made her return.
F.
I'm going to say D-. I thought it was really bad. You could have done way more with her.
Zero reaction upon her return. Zero.
Let's do this one. This is outside of Triple H.
Oh, come on. Of course.
Wait a minute.
Man.
So is Cody the best return of the year, or is it Bray?
The cross between him and Bray. I would give Cody a A- too, just because he went out so quickly with injury, and that's not even really his fault. Bray and Cody have been massive successes in their returns.
Love it. Triple H overall, though, chat. I see people here talking about Emma. I see D's for Emma in the chat. Throw some D's on it. D. Emma Boo, man.
And I think saying D is being a little kind. I think Emma's return has been a complete F, honestly.
Nikita was not called up officially, so we didn't put her on. Somebody said A++. B. Cody Rhodes is the A+ next world champ. Logan Paul. Oh yeah, we talked about that. He said the Here Comes the Table spot from the video games. Emma D. Yeah. There's some. Is Triple H not doing well though with the returns?
I think the way we talked tonight, my blazing tirade that I just put on, and I think it's
improvement.
I think it's one of those things. I think if you want to give the whole batch of returns a grade, I think that's a C- as a whole. You got 2 A+ or A- or somewhere in the A range when you talk about Cody and Bray. You got Fs when you talk about Emma, and you talk about Braun Strowman. You got C- when you talk about Gargano. Overall,
it was mostly C's and D's.
Huh?
It was mostly C's and D's.
Okay, so even better. So I guess you know what? I mean, does the A+ for Cody and the A- for Bray bring it up that high? Not that high. So it's like a C-.
Yeah. Could be better. There are rumors of more people coming back. There have been rumors going around that Mia Yim will be making her return possibly. Also, Chelsea Green. What'd you say about Mia?
I said nobody cares.
Chelsea Green?
People might care because they hope that Matt Cardona is coming back.
Tegan Knox.
Nobody cares.
I feel like Triple H has a soft spot for her because of the injury, because he dealt with it.
Triple H has a soft spot for putting on quality television.
Also in breaking news, Nick Aldis from the NWA has been suspended. So all those people they thought were going to order Hard Times. What is going on with the NWA, man?
I don't know what's going on, but if they let that guy go, and it looks like it's a foregone conclusion, that's a big mistake because Nick Aldis is the best thing NWA has.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. And real quick to address Mark's comment from before, I just saw this now. With Gallows, I think WWE knows he's going to work that Wrestle Kingdom show. Adrenaline in my soul. Do you think Sasha Banks is gonna go after the title to beat Rousey? Maybe. Sasha could. They need to get her back first. Cody gets a B+. That was a Vince call, right? That was. I just wanted to do a little comparison, but Vince spent all his time on one person instead of 8. He got rid of all those other people for the most part. I give Triple H playing what I've seen so far a B-. He's got till Mania to pull the rabbit out the hat. I think Triple H has done much better for the product, but the returns haven't hit as far as who they brought back.
That's a fact. That's not what we're asking. That's a fact. What BJN said was 100% facts, but the question is only on the returns. The returns have been kind of lackluster. War Games coming back, all the different innovations he brought back, outstanding. But the returns, not so much.
Okay. Cray saying that he just got a retweet from Lee Moriarty, it looks like, that he might be the firm's bad boy as he put up a picture of Dennis Rodman. I can see that. Keep Mia Yim off my television. 60-40 for the returns. Overall a C. Magnus going back to the Impact Zone. He might. Listen, if I'm Triple H, that's someone you might want to call if you need a main eventer.
Yes, sir.
I would, even if I'm Tony Khan. Why not? Why not make that phone call? Nick Aldis is great. Big Mia Yim fan. They suspended that man just because he said he wasn't resigning. I heard that Sasha Banks is going to return in Survivor Series. Could happen. Triple H is doing a C-. Agreed, E. He's done barely anything different. Let's end this show right, man. I need one more Sean rant. We're going to talk a little AE-dub. That's JEFFJARRETT. Jeff Jarrett is back on my screen calling people slap nuts. Is the year 2000 here? Where's Beetlejuice? What is this, bro? Jeff Jarrett has had an amazing year. He's been in GCW, WWE for SummerSlam, Ric Flair's last match, and now he's in AEW. Jeff Jarrett is now serving in, he's going to be like a role of helping them AEW develop like business stuff going forward and with live events in 2023. What do you think of the move, Sean? Is it the wave? Chat, same question.
I feel like I'm going to talk a little bit out of both sides of my mouth. I'm one of the rare people that actually have respect for Jeff Jarrett. We talked about this before. I think Jeff Jarrett's work in TNA was excellent. I think him as Intercontinental Champion in WWE was pretty good. I think him in NWO 2000 was pretty good. I think him as the WCW Champion wasn't horrible. But overall, Jeff Jarrett, 2022 swinging guitars, it's a mistake. And you know what? It's a mistake that rings desperation by AEW. And AEW hasn't had that much bad of a time to be desperate. They've had a bad couple of months, don't get it twisted, but they shouldn't be desperate. Swinging for the fences with Double J is just kind of like, and bringing in Double J for creative purposes and wrestler development, I don't know. I don't know. I have a lot of respect for Jeff Jarrett. He's a Hall of Famer for a reason. Anybody who says Jarrett sucks, Jarrett's stupid, Jarrett's this, Jarrett couldn't. That's silly. Let's be real. Let's be honest. Jeff Jarrett is a Hall of Fame talent. Jeff Jarrett has been a Hall of Fame talent for 30 plus years. Jeff Jarrett's family's been in the business since 1947. There's my historian coming out, Conrad. And at the end of the day, he's a Hall of Fame guy. But in 2022, swinging guitars, not so much.
Mr. Pro Wrestling, I just wanted to let you know that you will be banned the next time I ever hear this in my chat. The wee. That's the My World theme. Double J is dope. Yeah. King of the Mountain, Double J. Let's see here. Jeff Jarrett is an all-around kind man considering how many promotions he's been in lately. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm 50-50 on this, bro. I'm 50-50 on this, man.
I just think people make a mistake of saying, "Oh, Jeff Jarrett's terrible." That whole he's never, I think it was one of the documentaries. He's never, got a dime for all the guitars I'm paraphrasing, for all the guitars he's ever swung.
Like, 1,000 guitars, never drew a dime. Mike Grimm.
Okay, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. But at the end of the day, is that really true? It's not true. Jeff Jarrett drew money in the USWA. Jeff Jarrett drew money in Memphis. Jeff Jarrett drew money in WWE. Jeff Jarrett drew money in WCW. Jeff Jarrett. Hold on. Jeff Jarrett printed money for about 2 years in TNA. So let's be real.
Hold on though. We gotta put a caveat on all this real quick. BJ, I'm keeping this up because this is where I left off. So here's how I see it, bro. With Double J Jeff Jarrett, him getting back into the fold, you have to be honest about Jeff Jarrett. I think Jeff Jarrett was always the top mid-card guy. I have no issue with that. He had to draw money because he was the Intercontinental Champ at a time when the Intercontinental Championship had prestige. He also did a lot of other things, though, that I thought didn't help him very much. Maybe the feud with Steve Austin would have changed things, but they had personal issues that went way back, and it just didn't work out. He went back to WCW, and in the year 2000, he carried WCW. There's nothing wrong with saying that.
Sounds like you agree with me so far, brother.
Here's where it comes. The TNA Reign of Terror for Jeff Jarrett was all booked for Jeff Jarrett, and I thought those were some bad mistakes.
I'm going to say this one more thing, and I promise you, out of respect for you, my brother, I'm not going to say another word until it's time to close. No different than 2003 Triple H.
I have a problem with that, too, and you know I do, so I have a problem. When those were both going on simultaneously, it was too much. 2003 was not a good year for Big Daddy Kush watching wrestling. It was done. I couldn't take it. I thought it was hot doo-doo butter. It was just bad. And I was like, stop it. So with Jarrett and TNA, he needed Dixie's help. Eventually, Dixie had to come in because she was the money train. Mm-hmm. Can Kurt do what's right for business? Mm-hmm. Listen, before he left WWE, you know why he got booted out of WWE, right?
I heard the story. I know the rumors of why he left.
Oh, no, but I can tell you why. Listen, Business 101 right here, folks. Why do you think they booted him out? If, let's just say Triple H messed up, who do you think they could have went to next for someone who's ran a wrestling company and can help run creative? It's my world. Yeah, guitar shots would have been ringing in WWE. That's why. Oh, you didn't know? Mm-hmm. That's going to be his new theme from now on because he was sucking up, bro. Right. I don't like Road Dogg just for that, and I mean the character Road Dogg, like the person
the character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like come on, dog. Like I get Triple H as your homie, bro, but knock it off, bro. Yeah. All right, you have a great mind for wrestling. You don't need to suck up. All right, be Brian James. All right, I believe you. You came from a family with great wrestling legacy. You don't have to suck up to Triple H. He knows what you're worth. Thanks. All right, and I don't see anything wrong with that. So with Jarrett, I'm okay with him to have one match as long as it's not for the long-term thing, like BJ said. BJ says I think he could do AEW right. Sean, I'm going to make you talk again. Okay. Before we get out of here, has AEW lost its way with this? Did you feel like it was very TNA when you saw this?
It felt TNA. It felt TNA, and it made me concerned. And it was the first time last week, even with all the drama that's been going on, it was the first time. Last Wednesday was the first time I said, "Uh-oh, this doesn't feel good," and that's a problem for me because I always felt, even with the CM Punk stuff and the Buck stuff and the Omega stuff, it was like, okay, they can bounce back from this. They can figure this out. They still have Moxie. They still have MJF, but Double J coming out swinging a guitar, that reeked of desperation to me.
John, I'm going to tell you this. John Mark, while you're in the chat, the whole CM Punk thing, I'm going to say this. I'm not believing anything until I see he's gone. The more that they feel the desperation, like Sean said, the more those weeks happen and it's not clicking, well, maybe we should call Phil back. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Maybe he did have a point to what he was saying. It's going to start ringing truer, I think, to some people. So let's just see. Let's just see what happens. BJ said, man, I love Jeff Jarrett as WCW champ as a kid. Yo, secretly, me too, bro. I was a Booker T guy more, but Jeff Jarrett as the heel, I wasn't mad at it. RIP to Mike Graham. Quick question for you guys. We'll end on BJ's question and we'll get out of here. AEW equals TNA Tokyo.
Not yet, but you know what? I see what you're talking about, HBK, and that's very concerning. I agree. Again, just think while BJ unloads his question, I just think that here we go.
Ray's still yelling, it's a work with Punk. It's a work. I'd hate to say this, but I'm starting to think AEW is starting to be WCW. I think that's what they want to be, though, Mark. They wanted to be WCW from 96 to 98. BJ says, do you think Tony was like the little kid with his notebook and ran all of his ideas out in the first 2 years, and now we are running with a Tony book week to week? I think Tony could use some different ideas there. I think, Sean, to me, the best philosophy is to have a Russo and a Ferrara for your main show. Mm-hmm. So Rampage and Dynamite, whatever, those two shows need to be connected. You got two guys. If one's out, the other one's there, and they help Tony. Tony still has final say. He will tell you, nah, that sucks, bro. But he needs to filter the ideas through people that he can trust. And I think with Ring of Honor, too, how much wrestling can you book?
Yeah, I agree.
Before it feels the same. I don't know, man.
I think it's time to raise an eyebrow. I don't think that we should talk about the demise of AEW just yet, but I think that it reeked of desperation, and I think that now AEW has to do something very quickly to get that teeter-totter going back, looking towards them, because WWE's gotten better. We just talked about how WWE still has a long way to go, but it has gotten better, right? So now AEW has to counterpunch.
Yeah, and I see E saying you're acting like Tony's in his Carter 4 era, stop the pain, shoelace. No, but I think it's something Tony's going to have to think of, though. When you want to launch Ring of Honor, why should I watch Ring of Honor if I'm going to see the same ideas that you're doing over here? Are they integrated? You have to come in there with a business plan.
Facts.
But look, we could talk wrestling with you guys all day. So do me a favor, guys, if you haven't already, hit that like button on your way out. Leave us a comment after the fact. Me and Sean will both have audio versions up. Links in the description. Show us some love. Subscribe. Tell a friend. Tell a wrestler. Tell anybody you know. Check out Everything Pro Wrestling. I appreciate everybody in the chat putting their stuff in here. I see people saying Jericho's pulling the strings now. The issue about TNA versus WCW is that Impact is still going on without the TNA name. WCW folded. That's an issue to me. When you compare everything to WWE, it's never going to be as good because in people's minds, they have built it up for you. They're the Apple of pro wrestling. But listen, go out here, enjoy some pro wrestling. Raw starting in 30 minutes. For myself, for the man named Sean Hubbard of Hubbard Wrestling Weekly, join us next Monday as we return at 6:05. We are out for this episode of Clash of the Podcast. Peace.
What's going on, EPW Nation? It's your boys from the Everything College Basketball Podcast, Josh and Peyton, here to remind you all that college basketball season is right around the corner. Yes, we finally know it's right around the corner. And Peyton, there's only one place people should go for all the college basketball excitement.
Well, Josh, the only place to find all college basketball hoops all the time is Everything College Basketball. Everything College Basketball can be listened to on several podcast hosting sites like Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. And we can also be found on our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Everything College Basketball.
Yes, make sure you are joining the group with a couple other 100 people and growing by the day as we march into year number 3 of the Everything College Basketball networking system. Now, let's get back to Conrad and Everything Pro Wrestling.